Today I'm going to be tackling a very large organizational project. This backside of my shop. I have an absolute ton of cut off hardwoods that I've had for a long time, and they take up a lot of space. So what I plan on doing is removing all of that and hanging up these brackets here. These have 6 individual shelves, and I have 4 of them. I might get 2 more in the future, I'm not sure yet, but for now I'm just going to hang up 4 and see if I can clear up some of this space. I got these off of Grizzly Tools website, and they were $26 or $27, I think, and so they were a really good steal, and I'm going to hang them up today. But first I gotta clear out this corner, so gonna take some time. First thing I had to do was move everything out of the corner. Although this was something I've been putting off for a long time, I was really glad I did it. I was able to not only organize things, but also declutter. So there were some things that I was hoarding onto or keeping for who knows what reason. So I was able to get rid of a lot of things as well. Now I do have a storm door and an exterior door. That is a spring project, as well as the bags of concrete. So I will be putting those back, but in a few months' time, hopefully those will be gone. And then my plan was to move the dust collector down and then hang up the lumber racks so that I can utilize the wasted wall space. There was also quite a bit of things that I could now put up in the attic. In the fall, I put a floor up in my attic with a pull-down ladder, so now I have easy access to a lot of space. So I can put things that basically just take up room in the garage that I never use, but we are hanging on to them for who knows what reason, up there and out of the way. So tackling this took about an hour to declutter the whole backside, but it was really nice because then I could reorganize it and sort it by species and size. And you don't really know how much you got until you take it out of a dedicated space and it ruins your whole workshop. So I was overwhelmed by the amount of cut-offs and blanks and spare wood that I've been saving. It really was a lot. So I took down these little homemade rack shelves, and yeah, here is a look at the mess, and my shop was jam-packed. It was a disaster, probably the worst it has ever looked. So I swept up everything, and I noticed the one rack, I painted around it years ago, so I thought, well, I might as well just paint this wall so it doesn't drive me crazy forever. So one of those things that really doesn't matter, but I know I would see it and it would drive me crazy, so I had about a quarter of a can left of bare ultra white paint, so I caulked all the screw holes just so the holes wouldn't stand out and put just one coat of paint. It already had a white base on it, so just spread out nice and even. You can see I have my phone in my earmuffs. I do this often if I get a phone call while I'm in the shop. It actually works really well. And then I'm ready to set them up. So I held them up, marked the holes with a punch or an awl, and then I marked them with a Sharpie and drilled them out. So I have a cinder block wall, so I had to drill them out with a hammer drill, and then I'm using 3-inch Tapcons with a hex head, and then make sure you put the spacers behind it. Looking back at this, I would probably set up all the holes with just the bar without putting the shelves on first, just because it would be a lot lighter and easier to work, unless you have an extra pair of hands. But I already assembled the racks, so this is the way I went. So got them all set up, made sure they were at the same height, and level. And I have 4 now. I might be getting more in the future. And then it was time to put the puzzle back together. So this actually took quite a bit of time. I actually put everything up on the rack and took it down like 2 or 3 times until I got it perfect. So I was constantly standing back looking at it thinking, how could I better improve this and make it more organized? And I actually had a very long piece of oak and I cut it down to around 9 feet so I could hang it over the lower strand, and I could utilize more space underneath the window. My long-term goal for this is to have a miter station in between the 2 right brackets, and if I put the saw right in between those, I have around 9.5 feet to the garage door. So I might have to lose two spaces where I would have shelves, but it would fit in perfectly. So here I'm just arranging the species. I have the walnut, and then the cherry cutoffs, and then the maple, or at this point it's pieces of oak, but I put maple up there eventually. And I know it's a lot of weight, but hopefully by seeing it now, I will be more likely and motivated to use it. So there goes the maple up on top, and then I have some oak and cherry above that. And then on the right hand side, I have some thicker pieces of oak.
Alright, so I got it all put back together. I tried to sort it by species, so I have oak and maple, and then walnut down here on the bottom. I have some cherry up top, not too much of that. And then down below I have some cutoffs, some bamboo slabs laminated together, as well as some butcher block and other things. So now that I can see it and visualize it, hopefully I'll be more likely to use it. And now it won't be such a hassle to dig to the very bottom of the stack. Every time in the past it seemed like I wanted a certain piece of wood, it would always be at the very bottom and it would just be a big pain in the butt. So now that I have it easily accessible, hopefully I will use it more. I have a lot of cutoff slabs, a lot of the maple and walnut, and I've looked up different ideas online of little things I can make with them, but I'm looking for some suggestions. So if you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments down below. I'm looking to make maybe some bandsaw boxes and little knick-knack things, but looking for something different. So maybe little games or something I can make to give away. So leave me a comment down below if you have any ideas. And yeah, so I am definitely excited about this. I pushed everything back probably like 6 to 8 inches too, so it feels a little bit better in here. Now I am going to have to put the door, storm door and front exterior door back for the time being, but hopefully in another month or so it'll warm up for me and I will be able to install that. And then this is what it'll look like from now on. So thanks for sticking with me. This was an awesome but pain in the butt organization idea. So it really messed up my shop, but now putting it back together, I was able to organize some things and throw some things away that I really didn't need, that I have no idea why I was hanging on to. So now I got to put the rest of my shop back together, get everything back in order, and yeah. So thanks for sticking with me, and take care.